Hello, everybody. Welcome to our second Film Seizure now playing for April. We kind of double dip thanks to the 5-week month. I'm Geoff Arbuckle. With me this time, Chuck Moore. Chuck, how's it going?
Hey, it's going great, Jeff.
It's going great.
It's going great.
It's going great. Yeah, a little callback to our pre-recording politeness.
Yes. I'm happy to be doing something other than working, so this is good.
Yeah, this is the fun type of work, right?
Yeah,
we're putting in work right now, but not
It is.
Yeah. So we've got ourselves a slate of 5 different movies we're going to talk about. You see the banner. We've got things from dark comedies to kind of absurd horror comedies to an absurd horror movie. One that I'm not too sure about, but I know that a comedian stars in it.
It's also absurd.
Okay, it's okay. And then we've got a truly spooky movie that at the time of recording, I just saw last night as part of the AMC Scream Unseen for April 20th. I know this is coming out on the 29th, but the movie comes out this weekend. So talk about perfect timing.
Yes.
So let's start with our first movie. And Chuck, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Have you ever played the game, What's the Worst Thing You've Ever Done?
No, but I'm familiar with it. I know the game, and it's kind of like Never Have I Ever, but worse.
Much worse.
Yes.
And I think that is good that you've never played it, because I don't think it's ever advisable for any human being to ever play that game.
Especially if you're an honest person.
Exactly. Because that is at the crux of the first movie we're going to talk about here, The Drama. This is Christopher Borgli, who did the Dream Scenario a few years ago. We've got Ari Aster as a producer on this. Very much the sensibility of an Ari Aster kind of thing, where in the first act of this movie, we've got ourselves kind of like a rom-com, kind of, very, very full of kind of nice stuff about these two characters that are played by Zendaya and Robert Pattinson, who meet each other. It's kind of a cute little meet cute of how they meet each other, because he wants to initiate a conversation. She's deaf in one ear and has an earbud in the other ear, and he approaches her on her deaf side.
Of course.
Which leads to a very funny moment, but kind of a cute conclusion to that meet cute. And what's even kind of funnier is that Robert Pattinson looks at the book that she's reading and kind of lies about having read that book so he can actually have a conversation with her. So their relationship is kind of based on a lie.
Yeah.
But it's kind of forgiven because they are very good to each other and everything. And the first act starts with their meeting, and they're both working on their marriage speeches for the reception. And as he's kind of recounting how he met her and how he proposed to her, his best friend, who is the best man and is married to her maid of honor. So he kind of tears up. It's kind of a funny scene and all of that. And everything seems to be going great until one night they all get drunk while, trying to settle on the food and wine selections for the wedding. And Rachel, who is the maid of honor, who is played by Elena Haim, suggests that they do something that she did with Mike, the best man, before their wedding, which is play the game, What's the Worst Thing You've Ever Done, so that they can get out all of their secrets and they don't feel like they're hiding anything from anybody. And this is basically how the first act ends. And the first story is, it's kind of a shitty thing to do, but it's not the worst thing. Her story is kind of shitty, which is a key element of the of how her character kind of carries on from here. Then you have Robert Pattinson, who says something that's kind of shitty, but it's kind of forgivable because he's kind of a dumb teenager. And the whole time we see Zendaya, who plays Emma, is nervous She doesn't know what she wants to say until she says it. And it changes the entire trajectory of the movie. I'm not going to say what she says.
Right. Don't.
Because the more that you go in blind to this movie, the better you are for the movie. It is going to affect some people. It is very much a black comedy.
Yeah.
But it spirals Charlie, who's Robert Pattinson, into all sorts of different directions. He doesn't know if he even ever knew the woman that he's going to marry. He doesn't know if she is potentially something not just scary, not just necessarily somebody who might lie to him, but might be a scary person. It becomes a little bit of like of a thriller in the way that it's paced and the way that it's edited from that point forward. And the whole time he gets worse and worse and worse, and it gets funnier and funnier and funnier until it builds to like one of the most uncomfortable wedding scenes you will ever see in a movie.
Nice.
And so it is, it's a movie about like, what do you share with people, even people that know you well? You know, there's always that part of you that it's kind of like it's like the id, the ego, and superego, right? It's like there's the knowable, like the thing that you're public about. There's the stuff that you kind of reserve for private moments. And then there's the stuff that's deep inside of you that you don't really want to let out.
Right.
And the reaction that, like the people who hear that, no matter how well they know you, how are they going to judge you after that? And it is, and it's just some of the stuff that's done, like with how Robert Pattinson, first of all, he's acting like Hugh Grant throughout the movie, which is fantastically funny because he's kind of bumbling. He's kind of like, he trips over his words all the time. Sometimes he's too serious and other times he's way like goofy. It's a very funny movie, but it is going to, it all depends on that end of that first act, whether or not people are going to stay with it or not. I know the screening I went to, I think everybody was into it. There was a lot of very loud laughing going on during some of it. And when like if you watch a trailer, it's not going to give away. It's going to basically set up that they all play What's the Worst Thing You've Ever Done.
That's what I remember seeing from the trailer.
Yeah. Exactly. And there is a falling apart from there that, that the trailer kind of goes on from there with. But I didn't know anything. And I remember when it's revealed and the reaction to it, I couldn't believe it. I was like, no, she's kidding. Nope. No, she is not, because it does also retrace that part of her life too. So it's a well constructed movie. It's not a perfect movie, but it is very well constructed. The humor, while very dark and very much topical, is very, very well done. Yeah. So well, definitely recommend.
You said the director's dream scenario, right?
Yep.
Same thing with that movie. Well constructed, good, just really good movie. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, and
I didn't even know that until you said it. So
yeah, and Ari Aster is involved in the producing side, so it's got a lot of his sensibilities to it too. So yeah, I mean, like some of the best stuff from the very Jekyll and Hyde Beau is Afraid was the stuff in the first half of that movie that was very darkly funny, that you feel that same quality of that dark comedy in this. So yeah.
Gotcha.
But for movie number 2 this week, this is another game. What do we got there?
Yeah, this is one we've both seen, actually. And it's direct follow-up to the 2019 hit Ready or Not. With Samara Weaving back as her character, with her sister in tow this time, Catherine Newton, which is fun. I kind of equate this, and it's not the same kind of movie at all, but it's kind of like an Austin Powers sequel. It's like they redo almost everything, but like to a larger degree.
I agree with that. I didn't think about that until you just, that's an apt comparison. Yeah.
So if you liked Ready or Not, and I don't know, you can't really say a whole lot about this. I can't really delve into it other than it's, Mr. LaBelle's lawyer, I guess he's his lawyer, has to enact some kind of rule because that whole family in the first movie died and some power is up for grabs. We have some really cool, like, David Cronenberg being in it for like a couple minutes. Lots of royalty, like Sarah Michelle Gellar shows up. It's a pretty cool
the lawyer himself is Elijah Wood. Yeah. He's always up for can I just be a part of something fun? I don't have to be the main star, but can I do something fun?
Yes, and he is fun in this movie. Like, he's one of my favorite parts of this movie, actually.
But God, it is the end part where it's like, well, all right, I guess that's that.
Whatever. You can do whatever you want. Yeah. It is the return of Bettinelli, Olpin, and Gillett, Radio Silence guys who did the first one and then left for Scream and then came back. So, like, you could tell it's one of their movies, and there is a continuity to it that sometimes you don't get with sequels, right? Like, it feels like it's akin to the first movie, not a new director, new voice, new.
Yeah, they figured out a way to continue the story, which I think was my biggest surprise. That I thought, okay, I'm going to have fun with this. I don't know exactly how great it's going to be, but I'm going to have fun with it because anytime you get those, those sacks of blood people just exploding, that's fun, and, but I was quite happy with how they continued the story. It's like, okay, it initiated another game. All right. Fine, let's go.
I can't imagine disliking this if you liked the first one, unless you were hoping for them to reinvent the wheel and do something different, And
then at that point, it's not going to be Ready or Not.
Right. It'd be something different.
Yeah. I will say I very much liked Sarah Michelle Gellar in this.
She's fantastic.
I mean, because she's, without having to play anything over the top, she's manipulative. She's evil. You can kind of get some sense later in the movie that maybe she actually might not be so evil.
You can have empathy for her a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Even though I don't know how much that's earned, and I don't know how much it should be earned, but she's playing it well, and it's very kind of understated. The guy who plays her brother is kind of terrifying.
He is. He's one of those people that are like, you fear them because you don't know what they're capable of. And they show you in a way what they're capable of, and you believe it and know they can do much worse.
Yeah, because I mean, like, he's like, he has no problem beating the shit out of both of the girls, the sisters.
Yeah, and his own sister.
And then so everything from that, I mean, some people that's going to turn off, right?
Yeah.
But also, it's like going forward, anytime he says something or anytime he says or makes a threat, you believe him.
Yes. Like, none of it is celebrated, though. Like,
no, it's to set up the point that you better believe what this guy is saying because he has shown himself.
Yes. It also, and I won't give it away, but it is on a dance floor. It's one of my favorite scenes of a comedy this year. Like, you wouldn't call this a comedy overall, but it's definitely got comedy in it. And that scene is just tremendously fun.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Cause we'll just say it's blind fighting.
Yes.
And it's shot so much like this is a extremely serious, like, actual fight scene with one main element taken out.
Yes.
That they can see each other.
Yes. Very fun. I like that scene a lot.
Yeah. And no, I thought, because then you also have, Yeah, by the way, the guy who plays Titus, that's Sean Hatosi, who he's been in quite a few things that we've probably have seen.
He's very recognizable to me, but he's not someone I know, if that makes sense.
He's almost the guy from the Conjuring movies. He's almost that guy,
But
he's not. It's like at first I thought, oh, is that? No, I can't even. I'm blanking on his name, but he was also in Watchmen.
Yes.
So I thought, oh, is it that guy? And it's like, oh no, it's not that guy, but it's almost that guy.
What else is he done?
Well, we've covered a movie that he's in. He was in The Postman.
Yeah, he was in The Postman. He was in The Faculty. He was in Outside Providence. He's in and Out, which is something.
Yeah.
He was a much younger kid in that movie. That was something I was thinking about covering someday on Film Seizure.
I was curious about seeing that again myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, he's been on Felicity. He's just TV and movie all over the place, but he's very good in this.
Yeah.
And he's currently on The Pit. He has a recurring role on The Pit. So fans of that, I know there's a lot of them.
Yes, it's one of the bigger shows on television, right?
It sure is. Samara Weaving and Catherine Newton, good as sisters. They have good continuity together.
Mm-hmm.
If you like those two actresses, I think you're going to like the movie.
Yeah, and they're different enough while being similar.
Yes.
They seem like sisters, but they are different enough actresses just in general to make them interesting.
Well, and it's also well done where it's very obvious Catherine Newton's the younger sister.
Yes.
That's always the one thing that you look at. It's like, okay, these two people are sisters, but I can't tell who's the older, who's the youngest, or, are they the same age? Are they way far apart? It's like, no, this one set that up properly, and it properly sets up their relationship because
there's contention there, and it makes them defending each other interesting.
Yeah. Also, always love seeing Kevin Durant show up.
Yep.
It's. I didn't expect for that to go the way it did when he first. I was like, oh, there's Kevin Durant. Oh, there he goes.
There goes Kevin Durant. There's a couple people that are in this very, very briefly due to that reason.
Yep, exactly. I also. It's a lot of fun. Definitely recommend it. It is a much more fun movie, I suspect, than any of the other ones that we're talking here. Although, mileage may vary on some of these movies, but this one's going to be the one I would say is the best bet to have the most fun going to see or pulling up on the old streaming platform.
The other one I have to talk about, some people will find it very fun, I think.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily one of them, but we'll talk about it.
Fair enough. I know what your rating was on that one, and I was a little surprised, but also not. Yeah. All right, well, we'll come around to that one in a little bit, but anything left to add on Ready or Not 2?
Nope. I think we covered it without spoiling anything.
Yeah, cool. All right, so I'm going to talk about, this is the movie that is kind of getting a little bit of pile on right now. And maybe not necessarily for the worst of reasons. But that is Lee Cronin's The Mummy. Now, Lee Cronin, Irish director, which is interesting because my preferred Irish director I will talk about later when it comes to horror. Mm-hmm. But Lee Cronin has made a name for himself with the movie, was it Hole in the Ground, I think is what it's called. That scored him Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah.
Which, while I do like Evil Dead Rise, I have a little bit of an asterisk because something about it was also a letdown that I can't quite put my finger on it. But I was like, yep, that's an Evil Dead movie. And yep, it's very similar to the Sam Raimi style, right?
Right.
When I saw The Mummy, I specifically went to the Dolby presentation because it's Dolby, for one. That's my favorite theater at the theater. But also, they had this thing that was called the Halfway to Halloween screening. And that was just what they call it. And it had a little opening with James Wan, Jason Blum, and Lee Cronin. And Lee Cronin talked about how, if you know my movies, you know that I like to get a little bit gory and a little bit uncomfortable with stuff. And yeah, I mean, knowing that all of his movies have targeted children in some way, yeah, I get it. And there's not saying that that's necessarily right or wrong. But what I will say is that the Mummy kind of also, he's kind of setting the stage for, oh, I know what I'm going to not like about this movie, which is this movie's a little too gory for its own good. But I'll come back around to that point. The Mummy is about mother and father whose daughter is kidnapped while they're kind of temporarily living in Egypt for the father's job as a reporter, television reporter. She's recovered 8 years later after being kind of long believed to be dead. When they found her, she was inside of a sarcophagus that, for as much as anybody knows, has not been opened for 3,000 years, but we do know that it does get opened from time to time for special reasons. And basically, as soon as she's discovered, the Egyptian doctors basically are like, all right, you can take her home, which in itself is kind of a funny, like, there is kind of a sense of humor to that, because it's like, you see her and it's like, there's no freaking way a hospital will say, just take her home.
I'll be honest, the trailer and that part of the premise like rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't even really want to see it, and that's why I didn't end up going to see it this week. And I'm like, we can pass.
Yeah,
we can pass.
Yeah, and it's probably, I mean, it might make for a fun bad movie night in a way. For some, it will, but because there are a lot of weird things like that. Like Egypt is depicted like it's 80 years in the past. Like their hospital looks ancient. Their the way that they police things, the way like their police station looks ancient. Some of the technology seems ancient while still taking place in the modern day. It's like, this is really strange how they're treating Egypt, but I can't say that comparatively they treat the United States as being, glistening and full of technology or whatever. It's not but there's a weirdness to that. But yeah, it's technically, it is more than worthy if you're looking for stuff that kind of makes your skin crawl or grosses you out. This movie does that. And Lee Cronin definitely knows how to make things gross. He knows how to put kids right in the middle of the gory horror. All of that is fine. The best character of the movie by far is May Calamaway, who is the detective in Egypt, who's kind of, she starts with the investigation when the girl goes missing, and then comes back around 8 years later when she's kind of fully grown into a detective role. Yeah. She's an interesting character. She's kind of, she's kind of a badass. She's the best character. The dad is the guy from Midsummer who ends up in the bear suit.
I thought that was him. I thought that was him.
He's not particularly good in it. The mom is pretty annoying. Like it's a little bit of a role reversal where the dad this time is like, hey, something's wrong here. We can't take care of this girl. And the mom is like, yeah, but you just don't love our daughter. I'm going to take care of her because I'm a nurse. And it's like, she's spitting up green goo constantly.
That's not your daughter.
That's not your daughter anymore. And so it's like they try to build that friction in the parents, and it's like, it just doesn't, it's one of those things in horror movies that should annoy people more than it, even though it is one of the most annoying things, and most people pointed out, it should annoy people far more to the point where they need to look past the gore and the bits that they laughed at and say, this is really dumb and we don't want to see these types of, if there's a fucking ghost or a mummy or a Dracula or whatever inside of a house, you leave or you take it someplace else.
Right.
What are we doing here? But the thing is about this movie, and I want you to see, I want you to tell me if you recognize the problem from this description that I have.
Okay.
It's part The Exorcist. It's actually a better Exorcist movie than the last Exorcist movie, but that's not a very high bar. It's part Dracula with the kind of a growing plague of this evil, because it's kind of described that this evil spreads once it's released. And the final act of the movie is an Evil Dead movie. So it's kind of part Exorcist with the possession, it's part Dracula with the growing plague, and it's Evil Dead because it seems like Lee Cronin really wanted to make the next Evil Dead movie, but he wasn't picked. So he made his own Evil Dead movie. But can you see what the problem is here?
Yeah, I don't know if I can describe it necessarily, but you have evil that isn't ultra violent becoming ultra, like, I don't know how to say it necessarily. Well, it's incongruent.
Yes, but the biggest problem is it's not a mummy movie. This girl is not a mummy.
Yeah.
Nothing about this evil is actually it's mummified, but it's not a mummy. Right. It's like, it just feels like, I don't know why this is a mummy movie. And that has really kind of stuck, that's kind of stuck with me a little bit more. And it's dragged this movie down for me. Lee Cronin, it's like, it kind of feels like he's kind of aping a lot of stuff, like the better parts, like the more interesting parts of the Exorcist are the quiet moments, right? Where it's like, what's going on? What's wrong with our daughter? What's wrong with it's definitely aping on Evil Dead, which his Evil Dead movie apes on Sam Raimi movies, basically. And so it's like, I'm not like, I need to see Lee Cronin do something other than Gorefest, because otherwise I do not think he's the master of horror that people want to prop him up to be.
But dude, when I saw the title for this movie, I was like, who's Lee Cronin? Honest to God.
Yeah.
And I've seen Evil Dead Rise, and I think I've seen the first movie you mentioned he did. It's like, is he really a big enough name to put him on top of the...
Well, there is some conjecture about why that was done. It was probably
so we could use the Mummy.
Well, it could be that, but it could also be because I mean, like, I think it was a studio decision. It's like, we've got to put that in front of it because there's a Brendan Fraser Mummy movie coming.
Yes,
and there's a confusion there. Like for like it was like 7 or 8 days or 2 weeks every day on Twitter. Jason Blum was tweeting that Brendan Fraser is not in Lee Cronin's The Mummy. That's a fucking problem.
Yeah,
you got a fucking problem here.
That's kind of funny too, though.
Yeah, but it's I know he was doing it as a joke, but it's like, because the other one got announced, but there's a problem. There's a lot of problems with the movie. I mean, I gave it 2.5 out of 5. That's being a little generous because it's really not that good of a movie.
Right.
But on the technical level and the fact that there were some things that, whether it was intentional or not, there were funny bits that I did laugh at. It's also a 2 hour and 15-minute movie when at best it probably needed to be an hour and 45.
Yeah. From a technical standpoint, it did look really good. Like, from what I saw in the trailers and stuff, it did look good.
I mean, and the gore parts of it, like, technically I don't really have any issues. I just have a lot of questions about what it was wanting to be.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds very incongruent. Like, the story just doesn't add up.
And, it's like, I really do like the 1999 Brendan Fraser Mummy. There's a really good Hammer Mummy film, and the 32 Mummy from Universal is my favorite of the Universal classics because it is so different and weird and dreamlike.
Right.
So when you're coming into when you're coming out and your title is The Mummy, unfortunately, I've got high expectations.
Yeah. Well, you don't seem to be the only person disliked this movie or gave
No.
it like a middling kind of review.
No, I am not. I am not.
No.
And there's a lot of people who gave it a lot worse reviews than I did.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, so tell me about the movie I have no knowledge of whatsoever.
Okay, so Bob Odenkirk's Normal, a Midwestern noir that when I saw the trailer for, I was like, I have to see that because I was a huge fan of Nobody. Like, I really, really like Nobody, which is kind of a John Wick kind of action, more grounded. I mean, it's not realistic, but it's more grounded in reality than John Wick is.
Sure.
So I was like, Odenkirk knows how to do this. He knows how to do action. I had not seen Nobody 2 for some reason, but this one looked interesting. He's a small town cop. You learn that he is basically a replacement for the sheriff that just died. Not under mysterious circumstances, but definitely questioned ones.
Okay.
And Bob Odenkirk is, I think he's there for 6 weeks while they elect the new sheriff, because sheriff is an elected title.
Okay. Yep.
It starts weird because it starts with the Yakuza in Japan and the guy getting his finger cut off and told to go make amends for his whatever in Normal. The town of Normal in Oklahoma. I think it's Oklahoma.
Minnesota is what I'm
Minnesota, thank you. So you find out that the Yakuza has some kind of stockpile, and this town is not. In Normal, and this town is not what it seems. Everybody is kind of in on some suspicious, dirty shit.
Okay.
And then it kind of breaks bad to where the secret comes out, and Bob Odenkirk needs to die, and then he turns into like madman action hero. And this is all pretty early in the movie. You learn this stuff.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, because I was wondering if this movie is a little bit like Walking Tall from the 70s.
Yes, from what I can remember. It's been a long time since I've seen Walking Tall, but yeah, it is. Outsider has to fight a city or a town. Basically, is that what Walking Tall is?
Well, Walking Tall, like the sheriff is kind of protecting a town against all these bad guys, but it's kind of like a one-man army, sort of like one man against an army, sort of.
So
thing.
it is, but the town is actually part of the evil too.
Okay. So that's the twist then. It's
yes.
Yeah. So he is thinking he's doing the right thing, not realizing the wolves are already inside.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And it's not even that clever necessarily. You don't learn it in a clever way to where you see him saying like, I have to stop this madness. He kind of learns a lot of it at once. And there's it's one of those movies that everything is convenient for the plot, and that lots of things happen that you're like, what the fuck? Like, why would anyone do that? So from the perspective of, I like to see people blow up like I did in Ready or Not 2. That happens in this movie, and it's fun. It happens to someone very unexpected that you're just like, holy shit, I just saw X blow up, like it's a thing you would never expect to see in life, and you see it in this movie. So there is like moments that are fun. It's just a very convenient script with things that happen and choices that Bob Odenkirk makes that you're just like, why would he even do that? So I don't know. I don't. It
seems like to me that this is in a way a like kind of one of those movies like Chuck Norris would have made in the 80s, where
or
it's like
Charles Bronson,
where it's like the point is good guy is going to fight bad guy.
Yes,
and we're going to fit this however we have to make bad guys lose, even if it doesn't make any sense.
Yes, and it's a slick 90-minute runtime. Like, it's not too long, which is good. Like, they understood the assignment in that sense. Yeah. And honestly, when we walked out, I told Steph, because we went and saw this together, I was like, I don't know if I like that. She's like, I thought it was fun. I was like, huh.
She is not the most forthcoming with that type of information.
No, she's not. So I was like, do I need to rethink about this? Like, and, Lena Headey is in it, and she's pretty good. I don't want to say.
Well, I mean, You gonna say who the mayor is?
Yeah, Henry Winkler.
Yeah, hey,
Hey, and
hey.
he is he's funny in it, because he is evil. Like not what you expect from Henry Winkler in a
So
lot of
is
respects.
it like maybe like chewing the scenery a little bit?
Not as much as like Fonzie, which is interesting. It would have been more fun if he did Fonz it up a little more. Um, but it
Fonz it
is.
up. That's my new favorite verb now. We got to fonz this shit up.
We got to Fonz it up. But he's the ringleader of the town that made a deal with the devil, basically. But it's the Yakuza they made the deal with.
Right, sure. I mean, because I was surprised that because I saw your rating on Letterboxd, and I was a little surprised by it, because I had heard that it was getting better than fair reviews. That like I think Rotten Tomatoes, it was like around a 75 or something like that.
Yeah,
and but like at the same time, it's like I'm not terribly surprised. Also, because it's like one. I kind of know your sensibilities, and it's like, and I didn't know anything about, so the movie kind of just squirted out the theaters and like kind of showed up one day, and I was like, what's this? And I was like, wait, is this Nobody 3 because it's normal?
Yeah, it's not, but it might as well be like them. It's a script that Bob Odenkirk wrote with somebody else. So he's definitely cashing in on that aspect of his career that's kind of paying out a little bit. And it's actually kind of funny when I put my review into normal, like Bob Odenkirk pops up and thanks you for it. It's the first time I've ever seen that. Like a movie.
It's like, are you sure?
Are you sure you want to thank me for this? But I don't know. Like I think people will think this is fun, and maybe I wasn't in the right headspace and that. But at most, I would give it like a 3. Like I'm not. Yeah. Even if I really liked it, I'd probably give it a 3 because there's nothing ultra compelling about it.
Yeah, I mean, like kind of recently, the reason why I asked you about like if this would have been like a kind of like a canon movie from one of the Chucks,
Yeah.
I had recently watched Missing in Action with Chuck Norris, and it's like, this movie has some fun bits. It has some very contrived bits. I'm not too certain that they're treating Vietnamese people very well,
right,
as a whole. But at the same time, it does the job 3 out of 5. Sure. It does the job. It tips over into, sure, check it out if you want to have some fun.
Yeah, you could check this out, have some fun. But wait until it hits your television. Like, don't go to the,
Well,
in my opinion, don't go to the theater and see it.
I mean, not many people did, and there was not much, like, there weren't many commercials or anything for it. I had never seen a trailer, and you know how much I go to the movies.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Steph and I saw a trailer, and Steph was the one that was like, let's go see that. And it feels like it saved me from The Mummy, because that's what I would have probably picked.
Because it seems like we're talking about the two movies that were like, I don't know, about as middle of the road as we can give something, right?
Yes.
And I can say that there are fun parts to The Mummy that I do think you would have had a good chuckle at.
Yeah.
Just like I'm sure if Henry Winkler's like, scenery, what's that? And just eats it all, I would probably have fun with that.
There are moments with Henry Winkler that you will definitely have fun with. And there are moments with Bob Odenkirk that you will definitely have fun with. It's just, even though it's only 90 minutes, there aren't enough of them, in my opinion. Okay.
Yeah. No, I was just, when you said that you were going to see Normal, I had to think for a second. It's like, oh yeah, that's the Bob Odenkirk one. Cause I did see something about it, but I didn't see anything of it. I saw him talking about it somewhere.
Right.
But there was no clips from the movie. So until I pulled up the poster for it, I didn't even know Henry Winkler was in it.
I didn't either until we were watching the movie. And I was like, oh shit, it's Henry Winkler.
They're fuzzing it up here.
They're fuzzing it up. This is great.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's the type of movie that would have appealed much to me to see it, but I can probably say I can skip it.
Watch it Sunday. Watch
maybe.
it. Watch it when you're watching it. When you're in a, I think maybe 10 years from now, as a time capsule of a stupid movie like a Chuck Norris, Charles Bronson, like seeing it later would be more fun than seeing it now. If that makes sense.
When I'm counting down to the 1000th release at B Movie Enema,
Yeah, throw it in there.
Maybe I'll throw it in as a, hey, this was a fun one.
Yeah.
You know, or this is a fun, stupid action movie that I might end up actually liking.
Yeah.
Because that happens from time to time where it's like, I don't think I should like this movie, but I like it.
Yeah. Honestly, if you haven't seen Nobody, you should legit watch that. That's a better movie. Yeah.
Well, I don't have any issues whatsoever with Bob Odenkirk, obviously, but like,
right.
It was just one of those things where it's like, when it comes to action movies, I have a very narrow, like, scope. You know, it's like, I want it to be James Bond or Tom Cruise.
I hear you, because we were fighting with Jason about the John Wick movies because neither of us want to watch them, and we might actually like them. I don't know, but it's it doesn't fit in my view of what kind of action movie I want to watch.
Right. It's like, I would rather watch Moonraker again.
Sure. Yeah.
4 times, you know, before watching. I mean, like, but that's just, again, we might get shit from the average, you know, John Wick fan, but you know, I admit I have a narrow view of what I want out of an action movie.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now what I also, I think we're done with normal, right?
Yes. No more to say about that.
So I can say that, for Irish horror movies,
yeah,
you know, we already reviewed one Irish filmmaker's horror movie. I must have a broad sense of what I do want to see from Irish horror films, because I have another Irish filmmaker that I like quite a bit, and that's Damien McCarthy, and he's got a new movie coming out that I just saw at the time of the recording of this. Last night, as a matter of fact, but does not come out until this weekend at the time that this episode releases, and that is Hokum. Hokum is, you know, Damien McCarthy has written and directed this. Damien McCarthy also made Oddity, another movie that very, very nearly made my top 10 list a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It's moody, it's atmospheric, it's very simple, but it's moody, it's atmospheric, it's what I want from a horror movie. And it's got a little bit of like witchery business in it. And, you know, so there is a little bit of, you know, like, I don't know if it's necessarily Irish folklore as much as it is, you know, it's got an Irish witch in it. I guess that counts for something.
I like Irish witches.
Sure, why not? Well, this movie definitely also has an Irish witch that's kind of haunting the overarching concept of this movie. What this movie is Adam Scott plays speaking of a comedian in a non-comedic role here, Adam Scott plays a author who is famous for a particular series of books that he's written that he is kind of dragging behind on releasing the 3rd installment of a trilogy. He's kind of stuck at the end. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that his idea for the ending is exceptionally dark and does not say a whole lot of good about people. Mm-hmm. And that's very key to who he is as a person, because he is kind of like, Adam Scott is very well cast in this because he can play a dick.
Yeah.
You know, and he is kind of dickish in this. He is haunted by something that happened to his mother when he was young and what it did to his father. And he's kind of grown up kind of insulated from having a whole lot of care about people.
Right.
And so, you know, he decides to go to this hotel in Ireland, which was where his parents honeymooned when they got married. And he's going to spread their ashes at this particular tree that he has this picture of his mother posing next to. Well, so first of all, when he arrives there, he kind of starts a little shit with the guy who's kind of touching up the paint on a car because there are goats that are around this palatial hotel in the middle of this kind of Irish woods, and they like to jump up on cars. Now you find out why they do that and why almost every goat will do that at this hotel, and it's actually pretty funny. But he's like, well, why do you have to shoot them dead? Can't you just spray them with water or shoot them away? And the Irish guy who he's talking to is also kind of a dick, and he's not gonna, he's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, so it's kind of, there's like funny stuff like that happens, and Adam Scott's whole, like, the first thing he does when he walks in, he sees the hotel owner telling these kids the story about this witch that lives in the woods, and like really freaking out these kids. And he's like, hey, old man, leave these kids alone. Like whatever. It's like, what's this to you? It's like, yeah. And so he's very much somebody who will speak his mind and be very blunt about that. And he also keeps people at like arm's length. And they talk about, like, in this hotel, supposedly the honeymoon suite is haunted because the owner supposedly has locked the witch that lived in the forest into the honeymoon suite, and he keeps the key on him at all times and will not allow anybody to go into the honeymoon suite. And there's this girl that works at the hotel that has always wanted to see what's inside the honeymoon suite, just to see if she gets haunted a little bit. It's a little bit of it's a story that everybody knows around here. I want to experience it. Well, through a series of events, he starts to actually kind of give a shit for this girl. It's not a romantic thing. It's just she does a thing for him that's really, really important. And when he comes back to the hotel some weeks later after being away, he finds out that woman is missing. And it becomes, for a little while, like this kind of murder mystery thing. And there's this guy who lives in the woods that's a little bit of a stranger. He's kind of a weirdo. He does kind of make friends with the Adam Scott character. And the guy who lives in the woods says, I was friends with that woman who went missing, and we need to get into the honeymoon suite, because I think she went in there and something happened to her there. I've been seeing visions of her, and she's telling me to go to the honeymoon suite. So it becomes a situation where ultimately Adam Scott has this really nice arc where he just wants to find out what happened to this person that he actually does kind of care for as far as he can care for somebody who was friends with this other guy who he kind of likes for as far as he can like somebody. And he ends up kind of getting locked in this honeymoon suite and has to solve the mystery of what happened. Huh. Meanwhile, he is haunted by these things from his past. He's haunted by something that's in the hotel. It is incredibly creepy and at times very funny, because there's just this, like, Adam Scott in the first half of the movie, you think that he is, as an actor, does not give a shit about what he's doing because the way he's delivering line, but no, it's his character playing off everything like, yeah, no, that's a bunch of hokum. That's bullshit. Yeah. Right. And so it's like, so it comes across like it's his character, but it also seems like it's the actor embodying that. But he also has this really cool kind of arc by the end. And so it's a really neat movie that, again, to kind of compare it like I did with, The Mummy, it's a little bit The Shining because you've got this kind of haunted hotel, and it's a little bit 1408 because it largely takes place inside one specific room where a lot of stuff is going to unfold and happen. It's also, it seems like at first you're going to be in for a slow burn. Yeah. But it's not paced like that at all. Like every 10 or 15 minutes, there's something, it crescendos to something spooky, and then it restarts that cycle. And so there's always something there to kind of happen.
Right.
But it's less about jump scares. There's not really any jump scares. It's everything builds naturally. It's more about what happened to this girl, what's happening to Adam Scott, and what he's learning from this as, you know, as he is kind of having this arc of his own. It's go ahead.
All I was going to say is the way you described it made it sound like a Ty West film we just watched.
Yes. Yeah.
Like the slow burn but until he got locked in the room, like that's a very Ty West kind of feeling movie. It felt like to me what you were
I think you will like this movie quite a bit. Did you see Oddity?
Yes. And I did like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think this movie's a little bit bigger, a little bit grander. It's about an hour and 45 minutes. So like that constant build up to something spooky, and then it kind of resets so that the mystery part can kind of take over again until it builds again to it's a well-made, well-written movie, well-paced movie.
And I'm a fan of Adam Scott now. I used to be indifferent, but after seeing Severance, I'm like, okay, I can watch stuff with Adam Scott. Yeah.
Yeah. It's surprising that he's in this movie because obviously the entire cast is Irish.
Right.
The whole production is Irish. But it is interesting because he is the outsider coming into this folklore.
Lots of outsider movies we watched this.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. But yeah, it's to me, Damien McCarthy should be the one that people keep an eye on until Lee Cronin can kind of dial back the gore stuff. Because right now we're talking about again, with comparisons, and I'm sorry, but it's almost like comparing Ty West to Eli Roth right now.
Right.
Where it's like, you want shock value from one guy, go see his movies. If you want an actual well-paced, well-written movie, go see the other guy's movies.
Well, yeah, and this wasn't produced by Jason Blum. So
no.
You know, like you can expect a particular thing with a Blumhouse film, unfortunately. Yeah, that's all I'll say there.
There are some good ones. I mean, Invisible Man is a fantastic Blumhouse movie.
But normally you get there's a formula to Blumhouse.
Absolutely.
Most of the time. Yeah.
We want it's because it's the wide net that they want to appeal to, right?
Right.
And when horror, obviously, you know, a wide net horror movie is not going to be the thoughtful one. It's going to be the let's have some bloody stuff and some stuff being, you know, peeled off of people's legs.
Right. You want thoughtful, you usually go to A24, not to pigeonhole them either.
No. But I mean, yeah, but you're right. I mean, and this is, Hokum is being distributed through Neon. So Neon and A24. Yep. Yeah. Neon and A24 are at the top of their game. You know, both Best Picture winners recently.
Yeah.
They're the ones that, you know, they know,
a lot
they
of
know
movies
quality.
worth checking out. Yeah.
Absolutely. And they know what's really effective and what's, you know, what's really worth a more, if you want something a little bit more quote unquote artistic, Hokum's going to be your pick. Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would say I absolutely, kind of recapping here, I absolutely recommend the drama Ready or Not 2 and Hokum. Probably Hokum is my favorite of the three, although I like all of them around the same level. The Mummy, gosh, I don't know. I don't know what to tell anybody about that. And maybe in 10 years I'll watch Normal. But Chuck.
Yeah, Ready or Not 2, definite recommend, especially if you like the first one. Normal, maybe if you're in for a stupid action movie and don't really care that much about the story. And one other mention right now about what I've been watching is the Sabres. For the first time in 15 years, the Buffalo Sabres are in the playoffs. So I haven't been watching a lot of movies because I've been watching a lot of hockey lately.
Hey, so and they've got a Sabres. 1 seed.
Yes. Well, they won their division. They got 2 seed. But
the way that it always looks like it's like 1 versus 4 times.
Yes, it doesn't.
I don't know. I don't understand it because it seems like 4th place swaps divisions. I don't get it, man. I try
not to worry about it. I just look at who the opponent is.
Yeah. You just got to go out there and beat the Bruins at time of recording.
Yes. 40
which
minutes.
Which I'm sure the Bruins being a Boston team that's quite all right for you to not like them.
Yeah, I mean, my two least favorite sports teams are both from Boston. That's the Bruins and the Patriots.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But the Celtics, you're just kind of meh.
I don't care about the NBA as much. I'll watch the Knicks, but I just don't care about the NBA as much. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. So, go Bruins. I don't have
Bruins, you dick.
Oh, shit. I meant to say go Buffalo, and I said the wrong beer. Well, just for calling that out, go Bruins. No,
go Bruins.
No, I was gonna say I don't have a horse in this race, but for you, I am keen to see what Buffalo Sabres are up to.
Appreciated.
Yes. So, yeah. And Chuck, for the three that you haven't seen, we got the A24 and the Neon movies. I definitely recommend the drama.
I'll check them out.
And Hokum. The Mummy, I don't know, man. It might make you squeamish. It might be just something that you feel like it's too long, but yeah.
I'm with you.
But I do think you'd like the other two quite a bit. All right. So that's going to do it for our halfway to Halloween month, our Halloween in April.
Yeah.
I think we did quite all right in general.
I agree.
Why, yeah. Next week, we kick off May with a crime thriller that I basically have known a little bit about for the last almost 35 years. And that is One False Move. Chuck, why did you pick that, if you don't mind?
So this'll tickle your fancy. You sent a video. I can't even remember what it was now, but after that video played on YouTube, it went into the 1992 Best Pictures by Siskel and Ebert. I was nice. I'll just leave this on because I was sitting there like just fiddling around with something.
They're not a bad thing to have on in the background.
Yeah,
I've realized.
It was number 2 on Ebert's list, and Siskel had it on his list too, I believe. They both loved it. And I was like, actually, that's really appealing. It was written by Billy Bob Thornton, and I've liked movie he's written before. So I was like, that sounds like one we should check out.
Yeah, well, I am all for it. And maybe I will go back and watch their reviews of that after I watch it. So, yeah, no, very cool. I'm excited to see it because, like I said, I've known it because I've seen an episode where they reviewed it. I know that they liked it. I remember it being at the video store. I just never watched it. So I'm looking forward to checking that out.
Me too.
Yeah, cool. That is next week. That is May 6th. Go to filmseizure.com. That's where you can find all of our episodes, all of the places you can follow us on social media, all the places you can subscribe to us on the various podcast sites that we post to. Also, this upcoming Monday at filmseizure.com, I move into the 1980s with Monster Mondays with Basket Case.
Ooh. That's a classic.
A little fun little guy in a basket.
Yeah, it's a classic horror from the 80s.
Real fun stuff. Real fun stuff. So, again, go over to filmseizure.com. That's where you'll find that. This upcoming Friday at my website, bmovieanima.com, an all-time stinker. John Travolta and Lily Tomlin in Moment by Moment.
Oh, no.
It is why anybody thought these two would have any kind of chemistry in a romance drama. But hoo boy, is it bad. It is one of the worst big studio movies I have certainly ever done on B Movie Anima, and maybe one of the worst I've seen in a long time. It's bad.
Yeah, that just doesn't look good.
If you're looking at the poster, that is a screen grab of her jerking him off while lying in bed.
Nice. Maybe I'll watch this movie. No.
I don't know, man.
Hey, what are you doing with my penis here? Hey.
Well, I mean, and there's also the reality of it that, Lily Tomlin's a pretty well-known lesbian, and her wife wrote and directed that movie.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's bad. It is a very bad movie.
It has some of the worst ratings I've seen on IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, and Letterboxd all put together.
There you go.
Yeah. 3.3 on IMDb. That is
it's
awful.
It's really bad. Yeah, it's really bad. For a studio picture, that is awful. Yeah, you're right.
Ooh, I feel bad that you even had to watch that or chose to watch that. I guess.
Anyway, so until next week when we got a cup thriller, I am Geoff Arbuckle.
I'm Chuck Moore.
And you have been listening to Film Seizure.